Welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. We have a really kind of crazy subject line today, and it's called twang. And it's really interesting because I just saw another vocal coach saying there's all this misinformation, and he's going to tell you straight, and this guy's going to tell you straight, and everyone's going to tell you straight on what twang is about, what it means, etc., etc. You know, guys, could you do, before I do that, I don't want to break straight into this, so let me get some shout outs. So I want to do some shout outs to all you guys out there. If you guys, Matt or Bob, if you can get me up, anyone that has preliminary questions, that'd be great. But I want to share some things with you guys that I think will resonate with you. Hopefully it will. It does with me. And that's that there's these terms, twang, and this and that, whatever. And people create these terms, and we're going to discuss where this term came from. But what I want to do is I want to discuss the whole spectrum of the voice, not just one aspect. And how does this one thing apply to the whole spectrum of the voice? It's really, really important. I actually started trying to learn to sing, gosh, I guess when I was 15 or 16, somewhere in there, and I took vocal lessons from Andy Bettner and Elizabeth Sabine and all these different people all over LA and Orange County, in Los Angeles, and I was really wanting to understand what the truth was, right? And so we're going to get to that in a second, but now we've got thank you, Matt, for bringing this up here. But I have a couple people on my team that are going to bring stuff up here. So happy Thanksgiving or post-Thanksgiving. Some people say happy Black Friday. Can we say happy White Friday? I don't know. Anyway, there's residual questions from last time. Let's cover those first. So I'm going to scroll down to those. Mystico says, do you have any advice on finding a teacher who sings the way we want to sing? Well, what do you mean by we want to sing? The way you want to sing? I'm not sure what that means. If there's not a teacher singing in the style I want to do, what do I do? Well, that's what Ken Temple Vocal Academy is here for, is we're trying to give you information to give you the tools to sing the way you want to sing. Don't just go to some vocal coach and think that they're going to be able to help you. The key is, can they do it for you? Can they demonstrate it? Do they have students that demonstrate it? And that's our whole mantra that we do. So go into our singers forums, ask this question in the singers forums. Bob Hohenberger, who is my right-hand guy, can help direct you to this information. So the next one is Austin. Hi, Ken. I'm 19 years old. When I sing along with the song playing, I sound really good. But when I sing it with, yeah, sorry, I'm laughing. Let's do this again. Austin. Hi, Ken. I'm 19 years old. When I sing along with the song playing, I sound really good. But when I sing without it, I don't sound the same without it. What can I do to achieve my vocal voice? And I wasn't laughing at you, I was laughing with you. So the first thing is that you are it's called a ghost vocal. You're allowed to sort of, in your mind, sing into someone else's voice, and you never really separated your own voice to listen to it and know what it really sounds like. Bob, when you can, we're going to put out, that exact question was asked again. Here's like the umpteenth time this has been asked. We're going to put out a series called You Ask, Ken Answers. So I'm going to post that thing. So stay tuned on my channel, because maybe that'll be the first thing I put out like in the next couple days or so to answer that question. So hang in there, Austin. And thank you for the question. Next one is Neville. How much time will it take me to start learning everything, to learn everything about vocals if I start learning now? I'm 18. You'll probably be 90 by the time you're done. And Neville, let me explain what I mean by that. And gosh, we're getting these same questions over and over again. I'm super stoked that you guys are doing this, because it helps me be able to answer the questions responsibly and then give you a more comprehensive answer. I can make a whole video on this, Neville, so thank you for the question. So, okay, let's just start from the beginning. First is that let's say you want to be a soccer player, or you want to be a heart surgeon, or you want to have some discipline. Well, the older we get, the more we realize what we don't know, even about ourselves, much less information we think we have. So, and this is true for myself. So, I'm saying this as wearing my heart on my sleeve right now. As we go through the process of this, we realize that as you age, for example, there are different aspects to the voice that you have to learn about and how to deal with that. is if you're singing in a different style, etc. And this goes on and on and on. If you're saying, hey, can I be awesome in like a couple years? I don't know about awesome, but could be pretty good, you know. Could I be awesome in 6 or 7 years, you know, of great, you know, technique and training and this, that? Absolutely, for sure. I don't know what kind of voice you have, but the answer to the question is absolutely. But you can't say, how much time will it take me to learn everything about vocals? It's like when I'm going to do a series on vocal fox, which is the amount of, or excuse me, the people's different, okay, let's back this up one more time. Big question. We have at least 25 different vocal fox, which means different, people have different ranges that they sing in. And within those ranges, okay, there's so much nuance to it. You could spend a lifetime just learning about vocal fox alone. If you're talking about your own, that's another thing. So Bob, again, we're going to try to cover some of this stuff. I don't know if I can break all this stuff down because I'm not sure how many people really want to know about all it. But what I do know is, dude, give yourself a couple years, see if you're, you know, how you're doing. Revisit it another couple years after that. You should be doing pretty good if you have good information. You're doing it right. Ashley, how similar is singing in a mask to nasal singing? I don't want to sound country. That's a good question, Ashley. When we think of mask, I don't want you to think of it in terms of singing into the nose, okay? I want you to think of it in terms of having open throat technique, which I've covered a lot already. So look at my videos on open throat technique, look at my course on open throat technique. And then when we get to this part, we do want to bring in some nasality, not a lot. And it doesn't mean, hey, how you doing? We're not looking to do that, right? What we're looking to, hey, we want to bring just enough in to give enough resonance in the front of the face and give us freedom to go in and out of the different, within the control track of the voice or the vocal track with the vowel modifications that we cover in my course, all right? Open shout-outs, here we go. Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy. By the way, all you faithful guys out there, thank you for all you bell clippers that are punching that button. I'm grateful to have you on board. That's awesome. And we have, let's see, Alex Yallop, hey Ken. The Ogre, hello. Midnight Reggie, Midnight Reggie. Uncle Kenny, okay. Nadija, dude, this is huge. Nadija Daganalarahala. That guy from Sri Lanka. Good to have you on board. We got Bonjour. Hold on, let's see this guy. Bonjour from France. Christella. Linda from Gomezi. Renat Melamad, sorry, from Ireland. Renat, how did you get Renat Melamad from Ireland? Shouldn't she be like, oh, the green, you know, shivering me timbers last. Anyway, okay, Crystal from France. Pavilas from Lithuania, Roque from Brazil, Lovette from Philadelphia, Demian from Argentina, yeah, from Russia. Those letters I can't understand. Anyway, I'm gonna rock. So let's cover some ground here, guys. All right. Sorry if I didn't get to your shout outs. We'll get to them in a minute. Maybe you can ask questions. So I want to start off by saying some things here, okay? And bear with me, I want to get back to seeing myself. There we go. So I don't feel like I'm just talking to myself. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Yeah, there we go. All right, so the first thing is that there are a lot of phrases that are coined or phrases that people come up with that say, you know, here's twang, here's mask, here's this, here's that, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to say, okay, where did the phrase come from? What does it mean? So definitions mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Let's really slow this whole thing down and start there. So we're going to talk about twang today, and we're going to talk about where it came from and then how it evolved into different definitions for different people. And some are good and some are not so good, and we can apply different things to different, you know, whatever. There is no silver bullet to fix anything. Let's get this clear. By the way, when you use the term silver bullet, that comes way back from the Dracula days when they thought that they could shoot Dracula in the heart with a silver bullet. He's done. No more Dracula. We can all live our lives. Okay, so that's actually where this that term came from, also, which is funny that we're talking about terms. So there's no silver bullet that can cure anything. Okay, I really want to start there. It's really important because there's a lot of people dispensing information on the internet that says, if you just do this, you'll get X. All right. It doesn't mean also that we throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's another term where it means that, just because the baby's crying, we're going to throw the baby overboard and we're going to move on to the next baby. We can use information that will help us. All right. So I'm hoping that as we go through and one more thing, this is really important. I hope you guys really understand this. When you get your information, I don't care where you get it from. I don't even care if you don't love Ken Tamplin. We're all good. What I do want to say is that wherever you get your information from, make sure that that person can actually show you and does it with a lot of videos and a lot of other people that can demonstrate what they teach. They're not regurgitating information that they get from some other source. They're not having fancy drawing videos where they show you the epiglottis and the sphincter muscle and all this stuff. Like, really, truly, like, do they sing and do they display students that sing and sing well? And even in the style that you want to learn, okay? Which may not be me. I am more of a rock guy. I love R&B and stuff and pop, but I'm more of a rock guy. Though I grew up a lot on bel canto and I love, opera too, so which is kind of weird, but it's the truth. So as we get started, I'm going to share some quick stories with you, and Uncle Ken, Grandpa Ken, whatever you want to call me, Sensei Ken, Yoda Ken is going to give you some information. Okay, how long has Ken Tamplin been doing this? 35 years? Think about that. Stop. Think about it. Some newbie that comes on YouTube is going to give you information. Okay, I've been touring. Records out. Please go to Wikipedia. Please go to, other sources that can verify who has done what. Okay? And again, this isn't the grandpa card, but I have to point some stuff out to you because it's going to clarify some stuff as far as where information comes from. By the way, I don't claim to have all the answers. I'm still learning. Can you believe that? To this day, I'm still learning. It's like crazy. But I really want you to think about this. So if you go to what's called the Internet Movie Database, IMDb, and you go to imdb.com, just click on it and put in Ken Tamplin and see how many movies I've done. How many soundtracks have I done? How many albums I've recorded on? Look at Wikipedia, whatever. And then go to other vocal coaches and see how many they've done. It's pretty simple math. Like, we're not talking. So this equates to something called experience, or really understanding how does this stuff really work. And so we can talk about this stuff. And there's a reason I'm saying this. It's not to like pat myself on the back and say, Ken Tamplin, you're awesome. It's to point some very specific things out. The very first thing is, a long time ago, early 80s, 1982 to be exact, I was a guitar player, am a guitar player, and that's all I cared about, and I didn't care about singing that much, background stuff or whatever. I didn't think of myself as a lead singer. And I started studying voice, and we spent a lot of money. And by the way, too, for you whiners out there, hold on, my wife's here somewhere. She left the room. Darn it. I wish she was here because I would almost bring her on camera to prove this to you guys, talk to you about this. Yeah, we actually went to some of the most prestigious vocal coaches in Los Angeles, and we spent so much money on me trying to learn how to sing, where we were sleeping on my mom's floor in the living room in a sleeping bag in Anaheim, California, which is not the nicest place in the world for at least where the area that we were in. And we did this for a long, in fact, another funny story, and again, humor me guys, we're here, we're talking. One time, I was on my way home from a very famous vocal coach, and I wish I could mention his name, but I don't want to and my car broke down. It was a Pinto, and it used leaded gas, by the way. So I went down and I called my wife and I said, car broke down, what do I do? Can you help me? Whatever. And we figured out a way to get me home. By the time I got back, someone had stolen the leaded gas out of the car. They probably didn't even know it was leaded. Good for them, because it would ruin their their catalytic converter if they put it in another car for unleaded. They stole my radiator. They stole my a lot of stuff in the car. What was funny was everything they stole was already bad on the car. I'm like, that was back when you were allowed to leave a car on a freeway and not get busted for it, and someone towed it away, and and now you're like liable to pay for the tour, the impound of the car, etc. So anyway, so like this stuff came at a price. Here's my point. All this came at a price. This is true again. You've heard me talk about this before, where I used to go down to the movie theater and watch Song Remains the Same and watch Jimmy Page play guitar. Now you can go on YouTube and see Jimmy do it like right there. I had to go down to a movie theater and get this stuff. So all this stuff came at a price. So yes, Grandpa's been doing this a long time. Now we're going to talk about some stuff. There's and I'm going to mention her name because it's just bogus, and I have to. Her name is Elizabeth Sabine. You can look her up. She's in the Valley. I don't even know if she's still alive, but whatever. I went down there and I paid a lot of money cleaning carpets and you name it, just doing any job I could find to pay for this information. And she said, hey, I'm going to sit you in front of a TV screen, and she did that. And she said, she showed me this video about how to whine like a baby. And she wanted literally to have you sit there and whine like a baby. And I thought, okay, well, she's an authority, and other people claim that they learned from her, etc., etc. And I'm like, I'm not benefiting from this. And she would say something to the tune of, if you notice that babies can cry for hours and hours and they never go hoarse. And I bought into that. And I have a really cool grounded wife, and I went home to my wife and said, yeah, I'm going to cry like a baby for a long time. She goes, babies go hoarse all the time. What are you talking about? And I'm like, they do? Right? So, like, wherever you get this information from, I'm telling you guys straight up, listen to me. Get credentials of people and look at them and see what they've done and see where they got their information from to know if what you're getting is legit. So let's go on. I went on from there. There was a guy named Andy Bettner, and claimed to teach Michael Jackson, found out later that was baloney, claimed to teach, what's his name, from John Elefante from Kansas, some other people. And he did actually, John did take a couple lessons from him. But he would say, okay, I want you to understand what head voice is. So we're talking about definitions. I know I'm already 20 minutes in, guys, but please just give me a minute. Give me some time here. He would say, okay, I want you to go Yui, 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 Yui. And I want you to bend over so that you can feel how this works in your head. Let's do this together. I'm going to do it right now. You ready? Yui, 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 Yui. Yui, 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 Yui. And I'm like, I don't, like, what do you mean the head? And like, how's that going up into my head voice? Like, how's this working, right? And to me, this is total bogus, weird crap I can't use for singing to save my life. I never understood head voice in that way. We did a lot of sessions. I spent a lot of money. I never got anywhere with that. Now, maybe he's helped other people. Awesome. For me, I never benefited any from that. And I went through coach after coach after coach after coach after coach to try to get the goods. Now, remember, think about this. If you like the way I sing, I show you how I do it. If you like the way another vocal coach sings, then they'll show you how they do it. Fair game. Just start there, okay? We're going to get into Twang, guys, I promise. Hang in there with me, please. Okay, so Twang came, and I actually took from an associate of theirs back in the late 70s, I guess it was. And her name is Jo Estill, or Josephine Estill, and she coined a phrase called Twang. Now, Twang could be good and not so good, and we're going to get into this now, but please don't take one thing and think that it's your savior for everything, okay? You can use it for some things that could be good, and then other things where it's not so good. We're going to talk about this now. Now, when we talk about singing resonates within what's called 4-for-1. I want to talk about other concepts for music, or intonation or resonance for singing and music. There's a concept out right now, and you guys have probably seen this online, where we actually lately in the last 50 years have tuned to what's called 441 or 4,401 cycles. So there's around 4,000 cycles. This is how we tune what's called the key of A, which is called the people's key, by the way, the key of A. And so we tune into this frequency, and there really is, it's resonance. Your chords vibrate at a certain level. So anyway, so there's this concept that really we need to tune into 432 hertz, okay, 4,320. So because that is more resonant with the earth. There's some truth to that, right? There really is. Does it mean we can't sing at 441? No. Does it mean we should only sing at 430 hertz? No. So in other words, I'm trying to like give some credence to there are things out there that we can use and apply, but does it is that the filter by which we look it through everything at? No, of course not. Silly, ridiculous. Okay, so we're going to get into a still method, and I want to discuss this because Bob, if you can, my associate Bob, if you could please put in the notes section or in the description tag, I'm going to give you the only known vocal that I have of Josephine Estill, and you can just decide for yourself if you like the sound of her voice and if you want to sound like her. Okay? Just that simple. If you like the sound of Ken, whatever. If you like the sound of Gabby, whatever. You like the sound of some other vocal coach, just look and see what they do. So anyway, so I'm going to post this in the thing, and I'm trying to be fair about this. I'm not looking to bash anybody. I'm just, So Twang is, I teach open throat technique. You guys know this. Open throat technique is to have literally the maximum open amount in the vocal tract as you possibly can, and then we have different ways that we project sound forward, okay? I'm going to make it real simple. I don't want to get into a lot of technical terms. Twang is the complete antithesis of that, the complete opposite of that, okay? So twang is a tightened aryepiglottic sphincter muscle that closes down your epiglottis. It takes the flap, it actually is there's a muscle that takes the flap and it pushes the sound forward and it gives you this kind of sound. Now, in fairness, you can grow a really loud sound with that one sound, okay? It's one vowel, EH or eh, or quacking like a duck or buzzing, like a mosquito. Right? You can actually grow that sound pretty quickly. True story. Go for it. Try to translate that sound into other vowel sounds, into the open throat technique of bel canto. You can't go, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not looking to diss it. There are benefits of twang, and we're going to get into that too. But I really want to say, don't you want to go, hey, ha, ha, ooh? Don't you want to have a more beautiful round sound to it? Now, some people say, also, in fact, this one doctor, so-and-so, who has a little video on this, says it's like a garden hose, and if you have the spray of like this cool, the end of a garden hose, whatever the thing is, where you can turn it, you can have different shades of how much water is being sprayed. One is wide, and one is really narrow, and it goes straight. Okay, well, think about this for a second. Just because you can shoot a sound loudly and farther forward in the sound doesn't mean it's a great sound. You can make it loud, who cares if no one wants to hear it? And today, with technology, we have microphones and other things. Maybe this was good back in the 70s when you tried to project a sound going forward. But you can't manipulate that sound in a way that's as beautiful as bel canto. Beautiful round vowel tones. And also, too, it doesn't mean that you can't develop a killer, amazing resonance sound from open throat. In fact, you can, and not only can you do it, you can do it in a much bigger way in the end and have greater vocal health over time. So we're going to back this up again one more time. So twang is a tightened aryepiglottic sphincter that closes down the cords. Now, I want you to look at my throat for a second. Let's see if I can do this, not look at you. Here's my Adam's apple, which is my voice box. A lot of people equate twang to nasality, and it's and I've seen a lot of people focus on this. That's not what it is at all. It actually sits directly above the vocal folds, right here in the throat. For me as a guy, if you have Adam's apple, you can feel this. And you can actually create, kind of like when you swallow, I'm going to get to this in a minute, when you swallow, you can sort of feel the sensation directly above the vocal folds. Well, what about hey, oh, oh, Twang can never do that. You heard me right. Twang can never do that. Twang can never go, Twang would do this. And it'd be really far, really shrill and far forward in the sound. By the way, that was different than nasality. Nasality would be this. Right? It's coming into the, velar nasal port in the nasal cavity. So, and again, I'm not dissing it. Now, some things Twang is good for is when, if you've come off a throat surgery, for polyps or nodes, if you are trying to understand how to get good head voice and you can't quite get that ping and you want to understand how to grow the ping, and then you open that up to open throat. So let's combine the two now. You can take that sound and you can open it up to open throat and you can combine it. Don't make it your only go-to. It's just a way to get the brightness of the resonance, the ping we've talked about, especially in head voice, and then you can open up that sound to bigger vowels. If you don't do that, you'll never get these vowels in. So anyway, you'll never get the warmness of the vowels. So the laryngeal pharynx is shaped by the epiglottis with the sphincter muscle. It surrounds the sphincter muscle and it closes it down in the throat. Now, what do I teach you guys all the time? Open throat. Ah, la. It's the la, ah. I didn't say it's the la, It raises the laryngeal position. Now think about this. It raises the larynx. Right? And as it does this, some people say, well, I got, notes I never could get before. Well, that's cool, except it will inhibit range over time. Because when the larynx is raised, it can't drop the soundboard to give you the freedom to go up top to get these other notes. The higher up you go, you might as well have that sucker go in your gastric muscle in your chin, because after a while, it's just going to raise to the point where you get locked down. Now, an example of this, I challenge you guys to do this. I challenge you. I love Brian Johnson. I like AC/DC. When you watch live in Argentina, whatever that giant show they did, for the big Rose Bowl place they have there, you can hear he locks down and he gets to a point. He uses some of this technique. He locks down and he gets to a point where he can't go up any higher. He's stuck. The larynx gets stuck. I'm not kidding. It literally traps, and you're like spasms and traps. And I've done this too, because I've worked all this stuff out and I've done it before. So it will literally trap the laryngeal muscles, and you can't go and relax and release to get any higher. So what do? You have the audience sing, you sit there and you massage your throat, you try to pull the larynx down for a second, and then you go back at it again. Guys, that's no way to sing. That's not great singing. That's not bel canto. That's not beautiful singing, warm, round vowel tones. We can use it for certain. We can also use it to identify problems. If someone has a problem with their voice and we're trying to identify nodes or polyps or whatever, and so we can hear it as we go up. Now the NG sound, or the mosquito sound, they also call it siren, by the way. It's another kind of offshoot term. We're getting into definitions too, because this is a little different than what Josephine is still taught. All of a sudden it's become this science and this is how you do it kind of thing. I'm like, really? Really? Tell you what, prove it to me. Please sing for me. Go ahead. I'd like to hear you singing. Show me the sound. Don't just give me the scale. Don't just give me a couple notes. Sing a song with what you're teaching. I'd like to hear it. And people will defer to even, I'm your lady, you are my man. No, actually, she uses a lot of nasality in the sound. She's not really using twang. There are some parts. Now, the other point to this was this other vocal coach talked about having efficiency, 600% efficiency by using this concept. Guys, if you do open throat, you'll have the world at your feet with gorgeous efficiency. It's not just about singing loud and shrill, it's about how you can have your voice be beautiful, okay? And in beautiful tones and ranges and all this different stuff where it frees up the sound. It's not one yeah, or quacking like a dog, or quacking like a dog, quacking like a chicken. Anyway, so the primary function of AES, which is what this is called, is closing the passageway or the windpipe. So when you swallow, by the way, I'm going to show you how to do it. Please don't try this at home. Please don't tell anybody I did this. Do it on your own. If you want to understand how to do this, we can talk about this more and we can figure out a way to literally show you how to walk this through step by step and then how you can integrate that into other forms of singing that's not this one silver bullet. Anyway, is within the passageway in the windpipe, which is your trachea, when you swallow, you can feel the sensation or effort just above the larynx. So do this for me. Go. And kind of buzz a little bit in the sound. Buzz in the sound. Okay, now you'll feel the whole larynx, which is in guys' cases your Adam's apple. You'll feel it move up and down, but you won't be able to feel the AES from the outside. You've got to feel it inside here. Okay, so as you hold down the sound in the larynx, you can actually, a tilted or a neutral thyroid can change the mass or the thickness. So if I go I can actually change the mass of it. Or I could go which is what most people teach when they teach this, which raises the laryngeal position. Now, we've talked about this before. Do we want to raise the larynx? We only want to raise the larynx for an effect. We don't want to raise the larynx to have that be our go-to, because it'll be and we choke off this area. We actually choke it off. We're not. It may help you get to a note here and there. It's kind of like, you know, go ahead and shoot something in your arm real quick and get to a certain place, and after a while you're done. So we've got to open up the throat. We don't want to close down and pinch and squeeze off that sound. That's just not the right way to go. Again, whoever you get your information from, remember, do they sing? Can they prove it? Can they show you? Do they have students? Like, let's keep coming back to this, guys, over and over again. I don't care if you come back to Tamplin Vocal Academy. True story. Like, I may not be your guy, but please have some common sense of what I'm saying as we're going through the process of this. So anyway, as we've tightened this, there's a resistance that happens. The tightening of the area epiglottis, or just called the epiglottis, it can increase resistance. Well, the resistance happens in several ways. I'm going to give you two. One, with a crico or crico-arytenoid. By the way, I always say crico because I've learned from a lot of Italian guys, and the E sound is always crico rather than the American version, which is crico. So I'm going to use the American version. The crico-arytenoid muscle structure is like taking two cartilages and a rubber band. By the way, our vocal folds are not rubber band. It's a bunch of collagen with sinews that come together in a fold. That's why they're called folds. And it stretches them, okay? Now think about this. You have something that's stretching them, which gives you the ability to go up and down. We have to do this safely. There's a flap that comes over across the epiglottis that goes like this in the back. And the claim for twang is that it hits this sound and pushes the sound forward, which gives us more efficiency for sound. It's the truth. That's right. It does do that. Absolutely. Do you want your voice to go right? Do you want that sound? I have a lot of efficiency in that sound. It's really loud. I can get really loud, and I can get my voice to grow really strong with that. I do use that when I grow head voice, which is different, and I then incorporate all the vowel sounds. But if I go, right? Don't I want a more round sound, a more beautiful sound, rather than pushing that sound so far forward so it's shrill and so nasally, not in the truest sense of the word, but sounding nasally? Of course I do, right? Isn't that what this is all about? So again, there's an overhype of a lot of things. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. We can use it for certain things. Do we use that as our go-to for everything? Absolutely not. It's crazy, you know? Guys, you coaches out there, please just sing something. Show me something with this sound that makes it sound great. Prove it. Just sing something. And don't get someone else to do it. Don't hire someone else to do it. I want to see you do it with your own voice and see that what you're teaching is legit and true. I do it every day. Okay, let's continue. Sorry, guys, I'm so passionate about this. It just drives me nuts when I see this. And then you have the guy that says, "There's so much misinformation out there. Hopefully, what I have to give you is the great is the good." No, just show me with your voice. We'll get it. Show me with your voice. By the way, there's a lot of great questions coming in, and I want to get to that. And I'm sorry I'm going like ranting, but it's just anyway. Okay, there's a list of triggers, and like you can do that, right? You can go meow, meow, and you can meow like a cat. This is also an SLS. Or you go ga 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 ga. You can do all these different things. Now, I'm going to get back to Elizabeth Sabine. Okay, I was told early on by a very well-known vocal coach in LA, which also subscribes to this, and I don't even know, like I said, if she's alive anymore, where we would go, right? And you would start, and this is true also for understanding growl and all this, right? And we need to do a whole thing on growl, because this is really important. So she would have you do this, and later I found out that that's one of the worst things you could do to fatigue your voice. Like, I didn't know that, and I was doing this stuff, and I'm going, gosh, I feel so dry and so, what do I do? This is so horrible. You know, right? Or cry like a baby or whatever it is. And so this information was really hard to come by to find out that that's the last thing I wanted. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to hold my breath completely, and I'm going, and I'm going to actually kind of cut back the air in a way that keeps too much air from passing across the cord. Maybe that's what she was trying to do and she didn't know how to explain it. I don't know, but I know that what I'm saying right now is absolutely true. So anyway, so now with AES, again, you can add the sound into your speech. So they say try things like ah, ah, yeah, no, And one of the biggest things is they say, buzz like a mosquito. Guys, what have I told you from the beginning? What I've told you from the beginning is that we want to embed things in our voice that are applicable to actual singing. We don't want to embed the NG sound because we're trying to get away from that with contiguous phrase singing, open throat technique. We're not looking to embed anything in our throat or anything in what we do that is not directly applicable to singing. Any great arpeggio bel canto teacher will teach you this. Everything else are weird, like things that somehow they've become popular. It's kind of like a band that we knew wasn't great in the 70s and somehow they're still popular. Like, they're still terrible. I don't care who that is. They're still not great. And we want to take this, idea or this concept and I want it, let me say this again, I want to take this idea and concept and move it into a place where if you like the way I sing, I show you how I do it. If you like the way my students sing, I prove it not just with my voice, with their voices. I don't care where you get your vocal information from, but look at the vocal coach. Do you like the way they sing? Do you like the way their students sing? Both, not just them, but their students. And you can make your own conclusions from there. So I want to take some questions. I had, a lot more I wanted to add because that concept. In fact, I'll annotate this last thing with this. Within also, and this is true for KTVA too. So guys, hang in there because I want to slap myself for a second so that you guys know that I'm not just saying I'm super awesome. Within understanding holding back glottal compression, okay, it has such a similar feeling to when you choke and pinch and squeeze when you go up to get a note. So it's not just voila, Ken shows you something and you're good to go. No, we have to work at this stuff. It's called open throat technique. We have to, that's the hard palate has to, has a place for it. The soft palate has to rise. We have to open up the throat. The epiglottis has to drop. The flap has to come back so that we can create more space, not drop. Anyway, so there is, even within what I teach, it can be misinterpreted and people may not get it. So I want to have some fairness in this game, in this argument. But anytime anyone tells you to close down the epiglottis, anytime, I don't care who it is, ask yourself, well, how is that going to help me? The more I close, like, how's that going to help me? When I open up the throat, I get freedom. When I close down the throat, I get strain and stress. Period. End of story. Now, can I use it for certain things for my head voice? If I want to use it to increase my head voice? Yes. Hey! Okay, that's actually some twang. Hey! Now, true twang would be real bright on the sound, but I'm bringing in open throat. So, to where there's a warmth to the sound rather than a shrill brightness to the sound. So, twang is produced by closing the epiglottis down to create back pressure on the vocal folds. Okay? Up high, the only vowel you can use with twang is EH, et, like lead. Okay? Now, you can try. You can't use true E, A, or A. Try it. Good luck with that. And or o. You can't get any of the good Italian vowels to speak to this with twang. And the sound of twang, to me, is really unpleasant. Basically, it's like a quacking like a duck. And that's not something I'm looking to train my students to do. So I'm going to take some questions. Thanks, you guys, for listening. I teach open throat technique. We can incorporate twang for certain things. And I hope this didn't blow people's minds saying, I thought you were going to show us how to do twang, and we're all going to be great. Amazing. So let's see here. We've got a few things here. Can I take control of this, Matt? I'm just going to go up top here. So, sorry, the video is buffering a lot today. Busy internet, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Okay, sorry about that. What is twang? I explained it already. Matt, let me have control. Let's see here. Stuart Steele. Hi, Ken. Is it true that anyone can sing? I believe so. I mean, if you can sing Happy Birthday, you can certainly sing. You can learn how to sing. I'm not asking if anyone can sing like Steven Tyler, but I'm saying but am I right in saying one can sing to your own voice tone and learn? Absolutely, dude. Own a voice tone and sing in key and tone. Yes, of course. Carlo. Hi, Ken. Carlos from Doha. Where's Doha? My voice sounds dirty when I go high and sing piano or soft and airy. How can I make my voice sound better? The falsetto is also dirty. It sounds like you need to come back and get some of the brightness in the tone. We talk about the bright ping in the sound. Go to my video. It's the la where I talk about singing a nice bright clean tone first. That will help you get back good chord closure so that you're not allowing too much air to pass across the chords, which is hurting you right now. Minoe 53. I'm new to this lesson thing. I sound great on songs within my limited range, but it's hard for me to relate to what's being said. I can't apply it. What do you mean what's being said? You mean here today? If you have a question, Minoe, please go into my singers forums, ask the question there, and you can elaborate more on this so that we understand what your question is, because that didn't quite make sense to me. KZ Music. What breathing exercises do you do for singing? And tell me how to work on my breath, because while I'm singing, my lungs stop singing. Please tell me. Well, KZ, I have to hear you. I don't know if you're using too much air. I actually have a whole section on this. Go to YouTube. Go to my whole video on diaphragmatic support. Look at that first and see if that helps you. And if it doesn't, it might be that you're using too much air, and we could talk about that. Please go into my singing forums, and we'll dial you in on how you can cut back that air so that you're not using too much air and that you're not drying out the chords as you use the air itself. So, Aditya Baja. Ken, I follow Miles Kennedy very closely. I believe I've gotten quite close to knowing to knowing a lot about it, but not sure how to get perfect rasp. Okay, so I don't know about the rasp part for you. Learn to sing great clean first, and then after you learn to sing great clean, then you can start to lean into the sound and create rasp. Ironically, Miles and I took from the same vocal coach for a lot of years. I've taken from many. That happens to be one of them that I've taken from. But there is a technique that you can use that gives you the ability to cut back the air, lean into a sound, get rasp without hurting your chords, which is awesome. It's glottal compression. I have it in my singing course. Let's see here. Ken, you skipped some of the on-topic questions. That's Bob. Thanks, Bob. What did I skip? Scroll back up here. All right, hold on. Give me a minute, guys. Thank you, Bob. What did I skip here? That's cute. By the way, this is all live, guys. I hope it's raw. It is what it is. Okay. Do you have any advice in finding a teacher who sings the way we want to sing if there is not a teacher singing the way or a style I want to do? Well, No, actually, no. I mean, you can't just randomly go to someone that's going to teach you how to sing if they can't teach you in the style or in a way that you want to learn how to sing. It'd be like me saying, "Hey, can I go over? There's this flamenco guitar player, and I want to learn how to play rock and roll. Can that guy teach me how to play? Even if he's good, probably not." So, so I think I got most of these down, Bob. Let's go. I'm going to scoot way down here because I'm going to close on time here in a minute. I want to get things related to twang if you can. Carlos, benefits of twang. You can you can sound like a wet cat. Yep, that's right. That's true. Tony, is this a sound people really want, or is this is just a new in thing for younger singers? I think what's happened is when Jo Estill first brought this out, it gave people the ability that couldn't project sound. Let's back this up. This happened in the early 70s. So when this whole concept came out, the idea of having the person in the very back row hear what you're singing or projecting to that sound was extremely important. Now, by the way, this flies in the face of over 200 years of bel canto. So let's get this clear. There is an awful lot of opera guys out there, whether it was Caruso or Placido Domingo or Mario Lanza or Luciano Pavarotti or whoever these great tenors were, for example. They seem to have no problem with people hearing this in the back row without a PA system over an orchestra. Let's get that clear. Let's start there. Just go there, right? Stay there for a minute with me. Well, is there a portion of the voice that we can stretch to have a real shrill shriek kind of sound that can increase volume and, as this other vocal coach put it, efficiency by 600%? Well, efficiency to what? To loudness? Who cares? If it sounds terrible, why do I care? Just this shrill sort of sound? No, we want the whole spectrum of the voice. And if it's locked down a muscle structure, it's closed the sphincter muscle to the point where in the epiglottis it's closed, narrowed the epiglottis, and I can't reopen to a vowel, who cares? I can't sing a line. I'm going to... Or if I'm going to... Darling, what you have me do? Right? So we want to keep this sound open. So, Tony, I hope this answered your question. Steve, maybe twang needs less arpeggio support, easier to sing. No, Steve, it needs more arpeggio support, not less. Arpeggio in the sense of doing arpeggio first, maybe incorporating twang after the fact. If there's something, like I said, head voice you want to build, and build it later. Stuart Steele, I can... Oh, I lost it here. Did I delete that? Sorry, Stuart. I might have deleted you. Let me go down further. Let's see here. Let's go farther down. Thank you guys. Jaffer asks about mask. Thank you, Jaffer. That's a good question. Yes, we can incorporate mask, which does bring in some nasality into the sound, but it's not our only line of defense. Mask is something we bring in after good open throat technique. We can bring into the front of the face and bring around. Right, I can bring that sound into the front of the face. In fact, I do this, Jaffer, if you've already seen my videos, but I do this on the Lou Gramm videos that I've got. I do this on some of the Scorpions videos that I have. I think you've probably already seen that, where I incorporate mask into the sound, but it's not my first line of defense. It's what I use secondarily to get the sound into the front of the face. Hey, Ken, I bought your program, but I can't find out how to clean up the voice. Okay, hey, you can. It's volume 1. It's when I say it's the la, ah. You stay on a clean sound with ah, with a bright resonant tone, and as you work that ah, that resonance takes over, and that's what cleans up the sound. It also is helpful to understand how to cut back the air so you're not using too much air, but clean up the voice means for people that either sing with a lot of air or especially with a lot of distortion, we have to come back and sing clean in order to maintain a clean sound so we're not forever sentencing ourselves to a distorted voice. Indrit Shabani, what is your highest note? My highest note is probably C6. It's what I try to do when I warm up all the time. So I actually technically have a 5-octave range. I don't normally tell people that because it's not usable, because when I warm up really high, I can't get down to the low notes because I've set my voice up really high. So I can go from C to C in 5 octaves. But I really tell people 4.5 octaves because I can use that. That is a usable range when I'm down low. Angela Rivera's, does Barbara Streisand use twang in her singing? Yeah, actually she does. Yep, and she's really good at it. She uses a lot of nasality also. Good question, Angela. She also opens up her vowel sound, so I want you to focus on some of her earlier singing where she goes to open throat, because she actually does have some opera training, and then she incorporates twang. Like I said, guys, I'm not here to tell you twang is all bad. Barbara Streisand uses it. Celine Dion uses it. There's a lot of people, I can go on and on, but anyway, so Donna Summer uses it, but they use it in context with how they open up their vowel sounds, and so it's important to get the vowels first and then utilize twang on top of it. So Nur Lila says, what is the difference between mask and G resonance? Okay, did you see I did 2 whole things on masks. So Nur, before I answer that question and waste a lot of time on this, I already answered that a lot in 2 whole webinars that I've done on the subject. Please do that. If you have more questions, go ahead and go into the forums and ask the question again. But the NG resonance, we avoid it because we're trying not to close down the back of the throat. We're not looking to hit so many glottal stops. We want contiguous phrase singing for open throat technique, and we're not looking to have NG be our facial resonance for mask, because that's not how it works. Ending shout outs. Here we go, guys. Rahim from Bangladesh. Thank you, dude, for joining us. Tony from Detroit. Paul from California. Christina Lavaskaya from Russia. Christina from Russia. Peter from the Netherlands. Angela. Hola, Angela. I'm assuming that's somewhere in a Spanish-speaking country. Chamomile Junkie from Norway. Mari from Bolivia. Cassandra from Las Vegas. Ninad. Let's go there. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Marlene from Sweden. Janet from Jamaica. Jalil from South Africa. By the way, guys, this is the coolest thing ever. Isn't this the coolest thing where we can all just be like in a living room together and discussing these ideas and get questions and answers and demonstrations and stuff from all over the world? It's the coolest thing ever to me. I'm stoked. Galaxy Plaisia coach, Lisa here. Casey from, I don't know, Casey from wherever that is. Mike from Pasadena, Texas. Ken from Chicago. Conrad from Poland. Anyway, so guys, we have another special subject coming up next week. I'm actually I'm gonna really hit the subject of distortion. That's what we're covering next week, because we get this a lot, and people want to do this a lot. People want to growl, they want to scream, they want this, want that, the zen of singing, and all this stuff. I really want to cover this. I'm going to do this again this coming next Saturday. That will be our next session on how to use hyperglottal compression safely. So please, guys, please don't go do this on your own. Please start with good open throat technique first, and then we can migrate on into how you can lean into a sound to do this safely. Until next time, guys, peace out. God bless you guys. Cheers.